Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? You guys doing good too? I'm doing good too. So, welcome back on Panasonic TOUGHBOOK 55. In this video, we're going to be talking about SSD, which you place in this system. Okay, so let's take a look at this first. Right. So if you look in this image, right? Okay. The SSD will go through here. Okay. It'll go in here. It's in the same bay where the Blu-ray drive goes. Okay. And GPU. So once you got your SSD in here, just push it in there. You won't have to put any of the other things in there. Okay, so you gotta watch out for that. You have to plan this right, because if you want to use the SSD, right, you can't use the other things. What's made in this bay? He's only put one bay in there, you see. There should have been two. And this switch, when you press it, and you slide it across, it comes out. And then when you press the switch, zoom to the right, it locks it in. Okay, that's what this switch does. It's left, right kind of thing. As I was saying, if you use the SSD, then you can't use DVD, Blu-ray drives, or GPU, which is a great shame. I think you should have two bays. At least we could put two things in there. If you want to use a Blu-ray drive and an SSD, that's not going to happen, is it? So if you got all your stuff and your content saved on the SSD, the second SSD I'm talking about here, how are you supposed to put your stuff? I would say there's two ways of doing that. Whatever's in there. If you got this second SSD in there, you could save everything. You could save all the stuff on your SSD, right? But the thing is, you gotta be copying and pasting that to the desktop, and then you can put the Blu-ray drive and you can start writing them discs, isn't it? That's the one way of doing it. If you're thinking of writing discs, that is, you know, if you want to save some work on discs. And the other way can be is not buying this SSD. Yeah, you can't buy it for storage. The other way is that you can have a really large size internal SSD. Then what will happen there you can use your Blu-ray drive and your SSD. So all the stuff that which is saved internally on the hard drive, you can write this with that, can't you? At least you can use both of them together. But the only option for having a second SSD, if you run out of space from internally and you need more space, then you probably would buy a second SSD. But think about this, if there's no space already internally, you're not going to be able to save any of your work from the second SSD to your desktop to write CDs. You're not going to have to do that. Because the problem here is that because if you got that second SSD, then you can't place at the same time the Blu-ray writer, the right discs. You can't do that. No, you don't have to do that. So you got to think about these options. How are you going to do it? If a person prefers Blu-ray writer and the SSD, the turner won't be better. At least you can write some disks from the stuff you got on your computer to the disks, if you want to do that. So that's the thing about the second SSD. That is if you want to write disks to a Blu-ray. Another thing can be this as well. Another problem can arise as well. So if you got the second SSD, you can't use the GPU as well. So what do you do there? You have to take it out. You gotta make sure you got all your work right on the internal SSD. Because if you want to use the GPU and it needs that graphics boost, you'll have to use the GPU in it with the internal memory. And especially if you're a gamer anyway, that's gonna be even a more big problem. Because like, if you don't play your games, you have to store them to your internal memory, especially using the PC Steam. That's gonna be done internally, right? And then you can use the GPU there. You can do that. There is a third option to this as well. I didn't know if you guys knew this. No one's actually mentioned this part as well. Where, okay, you've got your internal SSD. Then you got your second SSD, haven't you? Which causes big problems. You can't use the GPU at the same time, because I think you need to use that. What you can do there, you can place the GPU, right? You know your USB port? They go, what's that got to do with it? It has. So the USB port on that laptop, you can use an external SSD or a hard drive. I've already got a Toshiba 2 TB hard drive. So what I can do there, if I got stuff like photos, music, videos, games, and all my work documents saved onto the hard drive, I can view them. So all you need to, so make sure you've got the programs installed on your internal SSD, because you want to use the programs. But if you ever want to use or edit anything, you could do that from an external hard drive or external SSD. And so what you do there, you click the GPU in there. Look how cool that is. So 3 things to remember. Number one, you can have your internal programs installed on the internal SSD. Have your programs installed. Number two, connect an external SSD or hard drive. Number three, you can store the GPU. That's how it's going to be much better. Because if you're a person who needs a second SSD, then you can just store your stuff in there. But if you need to use graphic packages and gaming, how are you going to do that? You need a video card for that, which is an 80 Radeon Pro WX 4150, isn't it? You need that. But if your thing doesn't require much graphics, it's just to do with Word, PowerPoint, Excel, or using OpenOffice, these kind of programs, you'll get away with it. Because the problem is only going to be for people who are dealing with graphics. That's how it works. So if you're a basic user without graphics, you can use a second SSD then. You'll be all right. But if you need graphics at the same time and the second SSD, you're not going to be able to do that. So choose your options wisely. If you are interested in getting a second SSD, you can't be into graphics then. If your graphics are a bit advanced or high or extreme, then that's gonna be a big problem. So don't think of buying the second SSD if you're a graphics user. Because if you're a graphics user, you gotta either use the internal SSD of the system, or you can connect external SSD or a hard drive. That's the way around it, I say. You see, it works like that. As I was mentioning something about Blu-ray. Well, Blu-ray is only for, that's got nothing to do with graphics, isn't it? Blu-ray is only for watching movies and writing discs, isn't it? It's all about that, isn't it? You can do that. You can do that from your internal SSD. Should you write CDs from an external SSD or a hard drive? You can, but I don't recommend it. I think if you want to do stuff like that, then you should do that from the internal SSD or a hard drive. So I hope you guys understand having the second SSDs in this slot, in this bay. Whatever I said, follow that, what I've said, wisely, and you should be able to good to go. So I hope you guys like my video today. Give me likes, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye from now.